Hello, peeps. This afternoon I wanted to just pop on quickly and give you a little video tutorial on the concept of color stranding in knitting, which is the concept we're going to start working on in our In It for Love sessions. And I'm so excited about it because I love to do it. Anyway, the concept of color stranding is when you're carrying two or even more colors across any given row in a pattern. And so I have a couple examples here, one that I'm actually going to be demoing from, and this cowl that I completed in color stranding. And so in color stranding, you're usually working with a background color. In this case, it's a cream color on this beautiful cowl, and then a contrast color. And so the background color is usually the main color throughout the entire piece, and the contrast color is providing interest to the colorwork pattern. They're typically very, very beautiful. And so it's a technique called stranding. You'll sometimes hear it referred to as Fair Isle. And Fair Isle is actually a really historical technique. It originates from the Scotland area, I believe. I don't know a lot about it, but some very historical patterns, which is another form of stranded color work. And so that's something we can get into as we begin to work with this technique. But anyway, stranding patterns are generally easiest to work with from charts because the patterns are very visual. And so a color stranding chart looks like this. And so we'll get into this a little later on down the line, but, and in fact, this is the chart for this little piece. It's a short little cowl that I'm working on here. And it can either be worked in a light background with a dark contrast or in a dark background with a light contrast, which is what you see here. And these pieces are always typically worked round because it's easiest to strand on the knit side. But typically stranding, you're working with two colors, sometimes more, across any given row. And it's a technique where you either pick up one color and work with it and drop it and pick up another color, or you can work many different ways to do stranding. Sometimes you can work with two colors in one hand, two colors in another hand, or a color in each finger. And so I'm going to demo a couple of those methods in the next video. And then the unused colors, you can see on the flip side, are carried across the back. It's called floating that unused color. So you can see here, I was working with the blue, so I was floating the white. Here, I was working with the white, so I was floating the blue. And there are all kinds of concepts in terms of color dominance and what you want to pop more out in your work. We'll get into that a little bit in the next video. It's a fun technique. It's a fun charted technique. Very beautiful. Super fun to work with, and so stay tuned, and in the next video I'm going to show you how to do this.